Happened in school that still pisses you off when you think about it today?
It technically wasn't in school, it was vocational school for me. But when I think about it, and it still irates me to this day, was my cooking teacher. She let me and my friends get bullied for 2 years straight. In vocational, we have 3 schools that come together to do these activities and stuff. And she let these girls make fun of my friends and I for years. Let them throw knives at us. We used to do tea sales, and they used to have like straws and stuff for like cups and all that. And they would keep them in the bottom cabinet. That cabinet leaked and water got all in the straws. And she threw them in a sink and just told us to give them to them. While they were still dirty and moldy, she made us give those to the people who came in to buy tea from us. Then she assigned us seats after the whole knife throwing incidents, and I got assigned to the girl that threw the knives at us. And she told us it was going to be that way until we learned how to get along. So we stopped telling her that they were bullying us and just let it go on. It didn't solve anything, it just kept it behind closed doors. And they were the first to leave, and then we would get left behind for about, 10 minutes before the bell would ring. They would leave their dishes and we had to do them. And she said everybody has to pull their part, and it's our responsibility to finish them when they couldn't, even though they didn't do anything. And there was this one girl who took seizures. She was kind of walking like in the middle of the row, and the teacher was teaching. She fell down, started having a seizure. You could see the anger in her face, and she didn't even bother to go check on her or nothing. She still stood up and did her lesson until she stood up and came and sit down. Then she was so confused, because of course when you come out of that state you're confused. She started asking what happened, and she just said, "You just had a seizure." Didn't help her, didn't do nothing. She just acted like it was nothing going on and just let her lay on the floor and do it. And she was kicked out of that class soon after. Like, this teacher treated us like crap, and she would sign us up for like dinners and stuff that we had to do and stuff, and would force us to do it and all that kind of stuff, and would volunteer us to cook for different people. I was miserable for these 2 years because you had to take it 2 years. And by the time I figured out how bad she was, I couldn't transfer. Because you only get like 2 months in the beginning of the school year, and of course like nothing was really going on. It wasn't that eventful the first 2 months. And so after the first 2 months, everything started going downhill. And if you got finished early, you had to clean the kitchen while everybody else was still doing their schoolwork. And the amount of gross stuff that she would serve to people that wasn't even cleaned was bad. Like, there was just so much that had went on. And I'd probably think more later, but right now those are the first things that could top off my head. But for 2 years, it was miserable, and there was a lot more going on. And if you guys want to hear more about it, I'll try to think of the rest of the story.